What does it mean to be a woman?
To me, I think it means having to fight for the exact same things that men are just handed. So
Let's go back in time to the first wave of the Women's March. Between the late 1800s to the early 1900s, females across Canada and the United States fought for the right to vote. They believed that they must first gain political power in order to bring about change. They light the fire and fueled it. Over time, the political agenda expanded to issues concerning sexual, reproductive, and economic matters. Sojourner Truth makes her famous Ain't I a Woman speech. Born a slave, Truth made her life's work to fight for women's rights. She delivered her famous speech at the Women's Rights Convention in Ohio. 1916 saw the first flames of the movement rise in Canada. Between January and April of 1916, women in Manitoba won the right to vote in provincial elections, followed by Saskatchewan, Alberta, British Columbia, and Ontario. In 1919, women got the right to vote in elections and got the right to run for elections in the House of Commons. Agnes McPhail is the first woman elected to the House of Commons in 1921. In 1927, the Supreme Court of Canada ruled that women are not persons under the law. The Famous Five appealed the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council in Canada's ruling and won. Women are now declared persons under the law and qualified to be appointed to the Senate, and that is what Corinne Wilson did, as she was the first female appointed to the Senate. During the first wave of the Women's March, World War I broke out. Men were sent off to fight and women took over their jobs. This paved the way so that women could contribute just as much, if not more, than men had. 1960s to 1980s. After World War II, the second wave focused on the workplace, sexuality, family, and reproductive rights. This was a time of change around the world as many were part of the other movements fighting for equality, such as Black Civil Rights Movement. In 1963, the Equal Pay Act is passed in the United States, and in 1983, Sally Ride becomes the first woman in space. 1990s to present time. The third wave of feminism emerged in the mid-1990s and continues to today. It was led by so-called Generation X, who, born in the 1960s and 70s, as well as millennials. They continue to fight for equal pay in the workplace, reproductive rights, violence against women. They are also fighting for acceptance and the true meaning of feminism. Women are still fighting to be equal and continue to this day. The fight for equality has not gone unnoticed. However, we still have some work to do. When there's no glass ceiling, the sky's the limit.